Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to the Journeyman Sports Podcast. Today, we're going to be diving into what we've been talking about for a long time. We're going to start getting into our coverage of the NBA. I'm excited for this one. Kate is actually at an NBA game right now as I'm recording this. It's at the Nuggets and Lakers game. I just went to a game involving the team that we're going to be talking about today, which is the Indiana Pacers. My biggest surprise story of the year, they're my hometown team, one of my favorite teams this year. I'm a big time Suns and Celtics fan, but Pacers are my other team, hometown. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to start. I figured this would be a pretty fitting video. Pacers have been a hot topic around the league the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've really picked up their play and want to go back talking about last year to what really helped mold this team now when Pacers traded Domantas Sabonis for Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield. This was a trade that was widely considered surprising. Tyrese Halliburton was doing his thing with the Kings, and then he got traded. He was a guy that there was a market, but not much of a pulse on, not because of him playing poorly, but just because the value was believed to be too high. But Pacers swoop in, make a hell of a deal. They bring in starting backcourt, and they played well down the stretch of last year, but coming into this year with the roster they had, Halliburton, Hield, Miles Turner really being the big three. This squad was not projected to be particularly great. Projected at about 24 wins. This point in the season, about halfway through, Pacers are currently 23 and 18. They are one game away from hitting that projection, and they are sixth in the Eastern Conference. And it's been a crazy season for the Pacers. Far exceeding my expectations. I figured they would possibly sneak into the playing game as a 10 seed, but I think they have a good chance to make the playoffs and avoid the playing game completely. But the biggest part of that has been the guys that they traded for. Benedict, or not, sorry, we'll talk about Benedict Mathurin next. But Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield, um, these two guys on the year, Halliburton averaging 21 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting 48% from the field and 40% from three. And then Buddy Hield averaging 18 points, 3 assists, and 5 boards. 45% from three and 45% from the field, 43% from three. And this has been an impressive run that the Pacers have been on. I think this has been a big part of the backcourt. The backcourt, we know how important they are in the NBA, especially with shooting. And the shooting has always been a big question mark in regards to Tyrese Halliburton. We know, at least I heard in the offseason, he worked with Drew Hanlon a lot. There's a lot of talk about trying to change the shot motion, definitely trying to speed it up. The shot is still not beautiful. It's not a Klay Thompson or Steph Curry type of jump shot, but it's very effective. And we see how well he's shooting from three. The stats don't lie, and that's a big time thing. But to know Halliburton more, I really feel like he has some of the best vision in the game. And we'll get a little bit later into exactly how good of a playmaker he is statistically. But I think the way that he sees the floor, I went to a game when they played the Raptors and was actually lucky enough to sit pretty close. But I mean, he's a guy where you can tell he's always looking for where the open guy is. And he reminds me, he doesn't quite have the vision of a LeBron or a Chris Paul, but he is always making to look the extra. He's always looking to make the extra pass, and I think that's what makes him such a great player. And we've seen, like, I'm just gonna kind of tease it now, but I mean, he's the league leader in assists for a reason. He's a heavy All-Star candidate. I think he should be an All-Star starter. And I think he's got to be in the conversation for most improved as well. But I mean, I can't say enough about Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's one of the most slept on players in the league still. And I hope he's starting to put some people on notice. But the biggest X factor for this team has been the just dominance of rookie Benedict Mathurin, guy that I feel like should be rookie of the year and the sixth man of the year. But I mean, he's been balling this year. He's averaging 17 points, an assist, 4 boards, shooting 41% from the field. 3-point percentage is a little bit low at 33. This is a guy with a silky jump shot, great athleticism, and he plays defense. And I went to a game where they played the Raptors. It was a close game down to the stretch, and he comes off the bench, but I've always been told, when I played basketball, my dad was a coach. He always said it's not about who starts, it's about who finishes the game. Matherin's always on the floor at the end, but I mean, he had a couple buckets and a couple stops at the end of that game. But he's been a big factor of the Pacers' success. And, I was not super familiar with his game going into the draft process, going into when the Pacers picked him, but I mean, I figured he would be a solid player. I didn't think he'd make this big of an instant impact. And I'm very happy to say I was wrong about Benedict Mathurin. I had a lot of people telling me how good he was, but I wasn't quite sure. And I can confidently say he's a very good player. And, him and Banchero are really the only two guys really in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. I think it should be Mathurin. He's on the better team. My opinion, I think the Pacers are better than the Magic. And I think he's having just a little bit better of a year when it comes to statistics and overall impact. Um, but Matherin's been phenomenal. I mean, he's been a guy who just goes about his business. He's confident and he plays both sides of the floor at a very high level for a rookie. But the biggest thing to me about this Pacers team has been the step up in pace and shooting. And just wanted to pull some stats here just to tell you guys. They're ranked 10th, so they're in the top third of the league for pace. They're fifth 3-point field goal attempts, and that might not be attempts, it just says 3-point field goals. And then they're ninth at 37% in 3-point percentage, and then 80% from the free throw line, which ranks seventh, tied third for assists with 27 a game, and about middle of the pack for effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage. But I really like the pace of this Pacers team. They like to push it. Big part of that off the bench, guy a lot of people might not be familiar with is TJ McConnell, he's a spark plug, firecracker off the bench. He's a guy you'd love to have on your team. He's going to come in, give your guys energy, a boost. And he's a great locker room guy, but I think TJ McConnell's a big part of the pace. Tyrese likes to push the pace. So does Buddy Hield, Mathurin as well. But the big underrated part of this team has been the improvement in the 3-point department. Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton. We know Miles Turner can shoot. O'Shea Brissett can shoot. Trying to think, they've been starting Nembhard from Gonzaga. He's a little bit streaky, but he can still shoot. And then I feel like I'm just completely blanking on someone. Aaron Nesmith can shoot. They've got a lot of guys who are solid on this team from the 3-point line. Miles Turner's a 38% 3-point shooter. Nesmith is 36. Nembhard is 40% 3-point shooter. O'Shea Brissett's 36.5. They've got guys that can shoot the basketball, that start, come off the bench, whatever, but they're very fluid. And Aaron Nesmith is another guy that stepped up. O'Shea Brissett has stepped up. They've gotten a lot of guys, sort of island of misfit toys type of feel to this team, which is something that I really like. And I think credit to the coaching with Rick Carlisle and his staff. They've been flexible this year. They've moved guys around. They've played different types of offense and defense. They've really been flexible with their approach to the game. And I think they're starting to find the rhythm with it. In their last 10, they're 8-2. They're finding their stride. And in those last games, just want to check real quick to go through these last 10 just so I can be exact on who they've beaten, because they've had some good wins down this stretch. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. They've beaten the Hornets, the Trailblazers, lost by 3 to the Sixers, beat the Raptors by 8, beat the Clippers by 1, beat the Cavaliers by 9, beat the Hawks by 15, beat the Heat by 3, Celtics by 5. And this has been I think this is the result of them finally finding that kind of gel. They found the offense, the defense they want to run, and it's starting to work. And I think we're only going to see them get better and more confident. This is a young group. Not a lot of these guys have significant playing experience in the NBA, and they're all really coming together, and it's been awesome to watch. I think just wanted to list some of these. Uh, we'll go to that last, actually. Switch to the front court with Miles Turner and Jalen Smith. These two guys have been playing very well. Also, two underrated players in the league to me. Excuse me. Miles Turner is averaging 17 points a game, 2 assists, 8 rebounds, 55% from the field, 38% from the 3-point line. Then Jalen Smith, who is underrated player from the Suns, averaging 10 points, 6 boards, and 46% from the field. And then only 29% from three, which isn't his game, but Jalen Smith is a guy who just plays his ass off. He's always working hard. He's on the offensive glass. The game I went to against the Raptors, seemed like he was in every play. There was a rebound or a ball on the ground up for grabs. He was always right there. And that's the kind of mentality that the Pacers have really embraced. The underdogs, the we're gonna go get every loose ball, be the first ones on the floor. We're gonna be the more physical and intense team. And that's really suited them well. And Miles Turner been having some contract struggles with the Pacers. Don't know exactly which side is being more stubborn or being not very smart, but I think the Pacers need to try and do whatever they can without being outrageous to try and bring him back. He's having his best year of his career. He's one of the best rim protectors in the league, one of the best pace and space, just space the floor, play both ways kind of player. And I love Miles Turner. I think he's made great improvement since they got rid of Sabonis. They finally let him embrace playing center and being the true big man out there. And I think that's been a positive difference for the team. And then getting to play with a guard like Halliburton, the pick and roll, pick and pop game it's legit. Just wanted to end kind of with some of these stats I found pretty interesting. Tyrese Halliburton, NBA league leader in assists. Buddy Hield, league leader in three-pointers made this year. Benedict Mathurin leading the league in bench scoring, and then Miles Turner's top three in blocks. So, I mean, these Pacers it's not just one guy. It's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. You get contributions from everyone, and you've got a lot of guys who are leading the league in statistics. And it still, I feel like, goes under the radar somehow. But this Pacers team could make a difference. Like, they could make a push. I really do believe in the playoffs. I think they're a very tough team to play. They have size, especially if they can keep Miles Turner. They've got good size. The effort and the play style is very, very good. They're very well coached. I'm excited to see what this team can do. I think they've got very bright, bright days ahead of them. Miles Turner is the big thing to watch going into the trade deadline specifically. I hope Tyrese Halliburton makes the All-Star team, and the Pacers have the city buzzing, and it's fun to have the Pacers be good again. It's been a little bit of time, but I'm really excited for their future. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's just something short, sweet. Just wanted to talk about the Pacers. Pretty passionate topic. Um, really excited. If you get a chance to watch them play, I would. I think they're one of the more fun teams to watch this year. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think about the Pacers, what you think their future could look like. Let me know if I'm an idiot and spewing nonsense. And I appreciate all of you guys out there who are watching. Thank you so much. This has been Journeyman Sports Podcast. I'm Garrett, one half of the show. My cousin Cade, like I referenced earlier, couldn't be here. He's at an NBA game himself. A little bit jealous of that, but hope he's having a good time. And this has been the Journeyman Sports Podcast. We are out.